Hi students, coming to our next topic, that is materialized view. So actually in the database we will use views and materialized views. So let us see what is a materialized view. A materialized view means it is a database object that contains the result of a query. Okay, so this materialized view is nothing but it contains the result of a query. So you call simply an object. So materialized view, simply call it as a database object. So whenever you call that object, that particular values will be appeared on the screen. Okay, so it is a database object that contains the result of a query. So before going to know about the materialized view, let us know what is a view. I think everyone is familiar about view. This will be created, the view will be created whenever you are creating the database tables. So actually a view is a virtual table. It's not a real. It's a virtual table. A view is a virtual table which is created using create view command. Okay, by using create view command we will use the view in the database. It is a virtual tables. Okay, and one more thing is it is not pre-computed and it will not store in disk. Okay, so I said this is a virtual table, so that's why it is not stored in the disk. It is not pre-computed. Only at the time of access only it will be computed. So whenever we are using the view, okay, then only it will be used and it will be computed. Okay, so it always get updated. It always get updated. So it updated automatically. Okay, so but only in for some queries only it always updated. So it cannot be automatically updated in some cases, like if you use the clauses like distinct clause, group by clause, check constraints. So in this the view cannot be updated. Okay, so if it always get updated data and the content in the view is updated and is reflected to original data. So whatever the data that is updated in the view, that will be stored in, that will be reflected to original table. Means updated view reflected to original table. So whatever the data that is there updated in the original table, that will be reflected to view. Okay, so it's only stores the logically. It's not a real. It's only a virtual table. The view is only the virtual table. So the storage is not required. Storage is not required. Only virtually it is present, the view. Okay, so the main thing here in the view you have to be note that all views are not updatable. Okay, so updatable like view created using a distinct clause, group by clause. So for this it is not updated automatically. So for to update these also we will use the materialized view. Now coming to materialized view. So the what you have learned in the view is nothing but it is not a real, means it doesn't require any storage. The view is a virtual table. Okay, so whatever the values that are updated in the view, that will be stored in the original table, reflected in the original table, and whatever the changes that are made in the original table, those will be reflected in the view. Okay, and this will not be computed. Okay, so only here the main advantage in the view is there is no storage space is required for the view. So it is used only for when to hide the details. Whenever you want to hide the details from another unknown persons, you will use the view tables, create view tables. Okay, now coming to the materialized view. So what is the materialized view? So we've seen that view is a virtual table. It doesn't create any store, it doesn't require any storage. Then coming to materialized view is a physical, it is a physical copy of original database tables. So whatever the original database tables, that copy will be there in materialized view. Here also it is there, but it is stored in virtually, whereas in materialized view it stores like a physical copy, just like a snapshot, just like a snapshot and a picture of original database tables. Okay, so materialized view it is an database object which contains the result of a query, that is a physical copy of the original query. Okay, and it just like a snapshot and picture of original database tables. Okay, and here the materialized view or pre-computed. So in the view we said that it is not pre-computed views, whereas the materialized views are pre-computed, and these are stored on a disk. So the result of the database tables, that will be stored on a disk, just like an object. It stores just like an object. So whenever we want that table, we just call the object, then you will get the information. Okay, so and one more thing here is whereas in the view it will always get updated automatically, the views will be updated. Okay, whereas here in the materialized view they are not updated each time they are used. So whenever we are using the views on views, whenever you use the view or you access the view, it is updated. But in materialized view they are not updated each time. When they are using, each time they are not updated. It has to be updated manually. It has to updated manually with the help of triggers. Okay, so with the help of triggers, materialized view have to be updated manually, means in the query you have to give update. Okay, with the help of triggers. So next, coming to the next point, it responds faster when compared to views. So when compared to views, materialized views responds very faster. Okay, and it does not waste any time in resolving the queries. Doesn't waste time for resolving queries. Okay, so these are the points that you have to be remembered for the materialized view. So let us see the syntax of materialized view. So create materialized view, okay, materialized view V, build clause. So I said only at the time of materialized view only you will use the build clause. If you use the view, it doesn't work. So if you are using the clauses, okay, like group by or distinct clause or check, if you are using those clauses, you have to write materialized view. Build clause refresh type. So refresh, so you have to mention the data type on trigger. So based on the trigger, it will be refreshed the trigger as query expression. Okay, so based on the trigger, that query expression, this will be refreshed refreshed manually, means we are giving so the refresh type and the build clause. So this is the syntax of the materialized view. So here the build class decides when to populate the materialized view. So when to populate the materialized view will be decided by the build clause, whereas refresh this type decides how to update the materialized view. So this refresh decides how to update the materialized view, saying how to update. Whereas a trigger decides when to update materialized view. So based on the query expression, okay, so it is going to be updated. So it decides when to update the materialized view. So this is the syntax of materialized view, which are used in the database tables. So let us see the difference between this view and materialized view. So this may be helpful for you in the exams. So the basic comparisons of the materialized views. So first, basic. I said a view is never stored, it is only displayed. So you just see, it will never stored, it only displayed. Whereas materialized view is stored on the disk. Okay, it always stores on the disk. Now coming to definition. A view is a virtual table formed from one or more base tables or views. So with the help of one or more base tables, okay, so it forms a table. Whereas materialized view, okay, so materialized view is a physical copy of database table. So I already said it is a physical copy of original database table. It's just like a snapshot, okay. It is just a picture, exact picture, whatever you are having the original table, that will be a snapshot picture of the material, call it as a materialized view. Now coming to update. So when it is updated, view is updated each time. Okay, each time the virtual table is viewed. So whenever the virtual table is viewed, we are viewing the virtual table, automatically it updates. Whereas materialized view has to be updated manually, okay, or by using the triggers. With the help of triggers, it updated manually. Coming to speed. Okay, so the speed when compared to materialized view, the speed is slow, and whereas in materialized view, when compared to view, here the speed is fast. It is a slow processing query, and it is a fast processing query. Coming to memory usage. Actually, view is a logical, it's a virtual table, so view do not require any memory space. It is only a virtual table, so that's why we do not require any memory space. Whereas in materialized view, it utilizes a memory space. So now coming to the syntax. The syntax is create view v as expressions. Whereas here, create materialized view v, build clause, refresh clause, on trigger as expression. Okay, so this is the difference between the view and materialized view. Okay, thank you.